presenting on the article, Bringing Reality to Classroom Management and Teacher Education for the EDUF 7116 research course. The article's authors, Gordon Eisenman, Susan Edwards, and Carey and Cushman state, learning how to manage a classroom effectively is a difficult task for pre-service teachers. The reasons for the difficulty lie in the lack of attention to the field by the profession, lack of formal preparation in the field by most teachers, and the lack of reality-based pedagogy in many teacher education classrooms. A vast majority of teachers, whether they are pre-service or veterans, feel classroom management is a very important part of education. Despite this, most educator preparation programs offer less than a course, often just a module or few lessons on classroom management. Many teachers express dissatisfaction with the preparations they have received for effective classroom management from their teacher education coursework. The authors set out to investigate the perceptions of pre-service teachers enrolled in educator preparation programs at Georgia Regents University regarding their training for effective classroom management practices. The rationale for this research was to justify how the teaching profession should look to classroom management as a resource to improve student learning, as opposed to just controlling behavior. The method the researchers implemented for this investigation was made up of several components. Pre-service teachers would participate in 5 key activities and assessments over the course of their training. They included a movie study where pre-service teachers would select a film about an educator to view, rate, and reflect on several management and engagement qualities. The purpose for this activity was to cause pre-service teachers to make connections to the events in the movie to classroom management theory. Multiple micro-teaching experiences where pre-service teachers would implement a lesson for their peers would also take place. The peers would role-play common management scenarios requiring the teacher's attention while still implementing lessons. The purpose for this activity was to apply the components of classroom management to real-world contexts and situations. Pre-service teachers also were charged with the creation of an animated video or comic strip highlighting the appropriate and inappropriate reactions a teacher may have when encountering student misbehavior. A student-teacher mentor observation experience was also done where pre-service teachers were paired with an experienced teacher to view and chart classroom interactions between the teacher and students deemed to be a behavior problem. Observation results were then sorted into positive and negative interactions and reflected upon. Lastly, the development of a personal management system aligned to the pre-service teacher's teaching beliefs to include a sample parent newsletter, teaching philosophy, classroom rules chart, and a notebook of go-to preventative and corrective management strategies that they could one day use in their future classrooms will also be compiled. There were 2 major findings by the researchers following their investigation. First, the management strategies where focus was placed on student learning versus requiring student compliance were the most effective. Strategies deemed to call students out or draw attention to the negative behavior rarely led to on-task behavior. Second, the incorporation of real-world classroom management activities and assessments were deemed by pre-service teachers participating as more beneficial than just their study of theory and pedagogy. Although the researchers did a great job correlating the importance of the real-world experiences to effective classroom management practices, there are still gaps in the research. The limited availability of research detailing teacher preparation for classroom management is a major gap that still needs to be addressed. The first articles and research available and published on this subject were not done until the 1980s. There's still a strong need for more investigation in this area. My main takeaways from this research investigation were as follows. First, the study of theory and research behind classroom management isn't sufficient. Pre-service teachers need many real-world experiences with common classroom management issues during their preparation coursework to be successful in their future classrooms. The next few slides detail connections to the article in our textbook. First, we'll look at the type of research conducted. Mixed methods research was implemented for this topic, as both quantitative and qualitative research methods were used to investigate teacher education programs' preparations of pre-service teachers regarding classroom management. The quantitative method conducted was causal comparative, which is a non-experimental research method. There was no manipulation of the independent variable in this study. The qualitative method conducted was a case study, where detailed accounts of the behavior of a person, group, or situation is documented and studied over a period of time. The types of variables present in the research include the dependent variable, which is affected by the independent variable. This would have to be the effectiveness of implemented classroom management practice by the pre-service and new teachers. The independent variable, which influenced the outcome of the dependent variable, would have to be the classroom management preparations provided to pre-service and new teachers. Examples of quantitative and qualitative variables present in this research include the written reflections, observation notes, survey interview responses, and the types of management strategies implemented by the pre-service and new teachers. These are the qualitative variables. The pre-service teacher scores on their coursework preparation activities and assessments would be the quantitative variables. I'd like to close this presentation with another quote from the authors. They state, "Beginning teachers report that weak classroom management skills and disruptive students are often the most significant barriers to being a good teacher, and often teachers in their first few years of teaching blame their teacher preparation programs for failing to adequately prepare them for classroom management. Devoting a single module or one lesson to classroom management is not sufficient to prepare a new teacher for the realities of many of today's classrooms. Intensive hands-on experiences with common management issues is necessary to ensure our new teachers are aware and prepared for the difficulties they will surely face once they are in charge of their future classrooms." Thank you for viewing and listening.